Morning peels open like the paper cone around a bouquet someone forgot to claim. The diner windows glow with a pale, uncommitted sun, and the bell above the door jangles its small silver opinion. Maya moves through steam and chatter with a rhythm that makes the plates look lighter than they are. Gloria jokes that she could thread a needle with a coffee stream, and Maya laughs as if the day already forgave itself. Missy sits near the window rehearsing grievances into her phone's black mirror, while Mr. Whitaker folds and refolds the local paper until the creases behave. Jonah slumps in a corner booth, pretending to edit last night's footage, but his eyes keep straying to everyone's pockets of sadness, like he's counting loose change. He feels stuck and decides to plant a camera, thinking he'll catch the tired waitress buttering sympathy for tips. Maya wipes a table and hums a tune her mother used to hum, the kind that makes you feel seen without asking your name. The lunch rush arrives the way summer storms used to, sideways and all at once. Maya threads through wet umbrellas and half-finished sentences, translating menus into small mercies. Mr. Whitaker loses his bus pass for the third time, and Maya finds it tucked beneath a napkin dispenser like a shy secret. Tasha mutters that tips are better if you look tragic. Maya tells her that gratitude is lighter to carry than resentment, and Tasha rolls her eyes, then listens anyway. Missy declares to anyone within range that kindness is just theater for money. Jonah checks the live feed on his phone, ready to catch an act. Maya bends to wipe a spilled milkshake, notices a young couple arguing softly, and slips a note between their plates that says the world is heavy enough without your hearts helping. No one sees her do it, but the camera, unblinking and patient, drinks it in. By mid-afternoon, the rain recommits, softening edges until the street looks watercolor thin. Gloria counts registers while pretending not to watch Jonah. Owen fixes the rattling ceiling vent, pretending not to watch Maya. Mrs. Complaint mutates, now about the draft, and two regulars nod along like metronomes. Maya refills cups and asks about the poem Mr. Whitaker is copying into the margins of his crossword. He tells a story about a song his wife loved, and for a moment the room hushes as if someone turned the sky down. Jonah stares at his phone, the stream revealing the things people do when they think they are unseen. A waitress slipping packets into a coat pocket to send home for school lunches. A girl pretending to yawn so she can wipe away tears without audience. He feels bored, then uneasy. Nothing looks like a scandal. It all looks like work stitched to kindness. Evening edges in with a copper glow. The diner thins to a last chorus of forks, and the soft hiss of coffee warming plates that have nowhere else to be. Diego rushes in with homework questions, hair damp from the dash, and Maya kneels to listen like every answer will matter for the rest of his life. She counts out quarters for a bus transfer and tucks them into his palm. Missy watches with a thoughtful stillness she disguises as indifference. Jonah scrolls comments on older posts, each like a small coin tossed into a dry fountain, and he wants more. He looks at the planted camera's feed again, searching for the trick, the mask, the moment where the waitress sells her soul for $2 extra. Instead, he sees Maya step outside to hand a to-go meal to a man shivering beneath the awning. No receipt. No witness, except the lens that does not know how to lie. Night lowers its voice. Chairs flip onto tables. The bell above the door gives a last tired breath, and Gloria locks the till with a decisive click. Maya lingers to stack mugs into neat little towers, each one a promise that tomorrow will start clean. Jonah stands by the fake fern, fingers hovering near the vent grate, debating courage. He tells himself this was about exposing a small-town hypocrisy, but the footage sits in his pocket like a rescued bird, warm and alive. Missy clears her throat and thanks Maya for the note she pretended not to see. Mr. Whitaker leaves a napkin with a shaky line from his poem Kindness Writes Where the World Has Torn. Maya turns off the neon sign and the room falls into its real shape. Not performance, but place. Jonah pockets the camera, heart unsettled, the story tilting under his feet, toward a truth he did not plan to tell. The night tastes like static. As Jonah sits at his desk, the glow of 2 monitors turning his knuckles lunar, he trims the footage into quick bites that favor sarcasm over patience, subtitling moments where Maya slides packets into a paper bag and cutting away before Mr. Whitaker's wink lands. Jonah tells himself the internet likes a villain with good lighting, and the vent camera's angle makes saints look calculating. He messages a friend about timing a post and hears his own breath like someone else. Diego's sketch peeks from a corner of the frame, a diner doodle he traded for hot chocolate, and Jonah pauses long enough to feel the slipperiness of context. Gloria texts a head count for tomorrow. He almost replies, then chooses upload. When the thumbnail blooms, he whispers that the truth is flexible. The upload bar crawls forward, like a decision learning how to walk. By late morning, the clip circulates like a rumor with a driver's license. At the hardware store, Owen hears a radio host snort about performative kindness, and he tells the cashier that context is a stubborn thing. Missy refreshes a town forum and decides the story confirms her worst suspicions about niceness. Gloria watches a booth empty as a couple leaves cash but no eye contact. And she asks Maya whether she wants the back door locked early. Maya says she'd rather keep it open to air the room out of whatever's come in. Tasha glances at her phone, cheeks draining, and admits she reposted before she knew the whole. Maya thanks her for telling the truth out loud, then asks if Tasha will help plate free pie for the seniors anyway. Mr. Whitaker murmurs that a song is not guilty because a bad singer chose it. Jonah reads the comments and feels fame's chill, even when the sun warms the counter. Afternoon stumbles in with a harsher brightness. 2 teens order fries and whisper the word faker as if it were a condiment. Missy announces that she always knew kindness was an angle, though her voice wobbles when Maya refills her coffee without asking. Diego arrives after school with a library book and notices how silence can turn sharp when it is aimed. He asks Maya if people are mad because she gave food away, and Maya tells him that some days people need to be angry at something that won't break. Gloria steps between a complaint and a person, telling a man that the diner refuses to weaponize hunger. Jonah hovers, ready to defend his edit as commentary, then hears the edge in his own thought and swallows it. Owen replaces the bell above the door with a softer spring, a small engineering of tone. The cash drawer clacks like a gavel, trying to learn mercy. Night brings the second job like a tide that does not ask permission. In the echoing halls of the medical clinic, Maya wheels a yellow bucket and hums a lullaby for empty rooms. The camera glare is gone, replaced by polished floors that remember every footprint before she erases it. Tasha texts that she's sorry again and offers to help after shift. Maya replies that apologies work best when they grow into actions and tells her to sleep. A janitor on the next floor nods in companionable silence. Maya finds a lost bracelet near pediatrics and writes a note so a frightened parent will know the world sometimes returns what it borrows. She tapes up a torn poster about flu shots, then sits on a bench to stretch her back. Across town, Jonah watches the view count climb and cannot tell if the number measures success or distance from himself. He closes the laptop and begins downloading the full, uncut file. Morning corners him. Jonah scrubs through the uncut footage, and the relentless neutrality of the camera becomes a mirror he cannot negotiate with. He sees the moment after his edit where Mr. Whitaker laughs and taps his pocket. The way Maya slides condiments into a bag marked with Diego's school, and then adds fruit she must have bought herself. He sees Owen's folded receipt reappear in another hand, a chain of quiet pay it forward that never auditioned for applause. He hears Missy mutter thank you when she thinks no one cares to listen. He sits very still, then calls Gloria and says he needs to show her something, and she tells him to bring whatever truth he has, and a broom because the sidewalk is a mess. He prints one frame where Maya's face is unguarded and kind, and for the first time, he wants views to mean witnesses instead of spectators. The morning feels quieter than it should. Jonah walks through the drizzle, camera in his jacket pocket like a confession that learned to breathe. Inside the diner, the first customers have not yet arrived. Gloria stands on a stool fixing the open sign that never stays straight. Maya hums while rolling silverware, and the sound makes Jonah's throat tighten. He tells them he has something to show, his voice small but deliberate. The laptop hums to life, and frames flicker across the counter. Maya handing food to strangers, tucking coins into Diego's hand, setting a note by a half-eaten sandwich. Gloria leans in and whispers that the internet can wound, but it can also heal if you hand it the truth yourself. Maya doesn't look angry. She looks sorry for him. Jonah says he wants to upload it all. Every quiet act. No cuts, no commentary. Maya nods once, as if she's known all along that mistakes are just promises waiting to grow honest. Word travels slower than gossip, but faster than guilt. Gloria insists on making breakfast for the three of them while they plan how to release the full story. She reminds Jonah that truth without humility is just another performance. Maya tells him she doesn't need defense, only accuracy. Outside, Owen repairs a sign bracket, overhearing enough to piece the situation together. He offers his workshop computer for the upload, saying the diner Wi-Fi stutters like a nervous apology. Diego slips in with his sketchbook and hugs his mother's waist. He tells Jonah that drawings only look good when you keep the lines you almost erased. Jonah laughs, understanding more from a 9-year-old than from the entire internet. They gather in Owen's repair shop, where the air smells of sawdust and engine oil. The upload progress bar crawls like a sunrise. Gloria brews coffee on a hot plate. Maya reads comments under the old clip, eyes softening at the cruelty that has already begun to fade. Jonah types a caption, "Full story." No edits. When it finally posts, silence floods the room. Then phones buzz one by one. First Tasha's message of relief, then Mr. Whitaker's text quoting his poem. Kindness writes where the world has torn. Maya wipes a tear she didn't plan for. Jonah looks up, realizing that truth can trend too, if it carries compassion instead of noise. By evening, the diner hums again, not with gossip, but with reconsideration. Locals drift in holding curiosity instead of judgment. Missy arrives last, clutching her phone like evidence that might acquit her. She sits at the counter and apologizes with the awkward bravery of someone learning a new language. Maya thanks her, offers pie, and says forgiveness is a community recipe. You taste it better when everyone shares. Jonah clears tables alongside Tasha, both pretending it's just another shift. Though their laughter sounds like something mended, Gloria places a small sign near the register. Kindness recorded here. Every day. Later, when the lights dim and chairs rest upside down again, Maya steps outside into the cool dark. Jonah stands beside her, the street shimmering from an earlier rain. He asks why she isn't angrier. She says anger costs more than she can spare and that everyone deserves one free mistake that teaches compassion instead of punishment. He tells her he doesn't know what to do next. She answers that he already started. Diego's laughter echoes from down the street, chasing fireflies. Maya looks up at the sign's neon reflection and tells Jonah the world didn't mock her. It tested who was willing to learn from kindness. The camera, now forgotten in his pocket, stays off. Some truths don't need a lens anymore. The video travels faster than morning light. Phones chime on kitchen counters, in laundromats, in trucks parked at red lights. People watch Maya refill cups, comfort strangers, and return lost things without witnesses. For once, no one edits the silence out. At the diner, the doorbell jingles nonstop as locals drift in carrying awkward smiles and homemade gifts. Flowers, pies, a hand-knit scarf. Gloria tries to pretend she's annoyed by the attention, but she wipes her eyes with the corner of her order pad. Missy volunteers to bus tables, muttering that she needs exercise in humility. Owen tightens a squeaky hinge without being asked. Jonah hovers near the register, helping where he can. Maya looks at the crowd and says softly that she never needed applause, only participation. and that kindness only counts when it keeps moving. By afternoon, the diner becomes a hub of repair. The local paper runs a headline about kindness caught on camera. Mr. Whitaker sits near the window dictating lines of a poem to Tasha, who types them into her phone for him. Jonah films a short follow-up, this time with permission, showing hands rather than faces, dishes rather than tears. Gloria insists on paying him in pancakes, saying good stories deserve breakfast. Missy laughs for the first time anyone can remember, loud enough to make the bell jingle. Maya watches the rhythm of all these small movements and realizes she has stopped thinking about survival. Instead, she's thinking about what tomorrow might build if everyone keeps showing up. At sunset, Owen organizes a small fix-it night behind the diner, open to anyone who wants to mend something. Chairs, bikes, broken expectations. Maya sets up a folding table with free coffee. Diego helps arrange tools like crayons. Jonah films snippets, this time lingering on other people's acts. Missy repairs a chipped mug and jokes that maybe redemption takes glue and sugar. Gloria calls over the crowd that they can't charge money for repairs because healing is priceless. The laughter floats into twilight, and even the wind sounds generous. Maya looks around and sees the town knitting itself back together, stitch by stitch, each thread pulled through humility. Night deepens. The diner quiets again, but this silence feels earned. Maya closes the till and finds a folded envelope marked for tomorrow. Inside are signatures and small donations toward a community fund in honor of unseen kindness. Jonah reads it aloud. Everyone goes still. Gloria suggests they start by buying a second-hand wheelchair ramp for Mr. Whitaker's porch. Owen volunteers to install it. Maya sets the envelope on the counter beneath the neon reflection, her eyes shining. For once, the town isn't waiting for her to save it. It's saving itself, one small fix at a time. Later that night, Maya walks home with Diego. Streetlights flicker in puddles, and their reflections look like promises written in water. Diego asks if good deeds always come back. Maya says sometimes they echo through other people's hands before they return. They pass Jonah filming the stars with his phone, narrating softly that not every light burns alone. He waves shyly, and Diego waves back. From her porch, Maya watches them disappear around the corner. She whispers to herself that kindness was never about being seen. It was about keeping the light steady when others couldn't. By mid-morning, the diner becomes a stage nobody asked for. A regional reporter arrives with a grin that treats empathy like a headline and not a home. She asks whether kindness is now a brand and if Maya intends to monetize mercy. Gloria's smile thins and she places a coffee in front of the camera as if shielding a child from a sudden wind. Jonah steps from the dish pit, with sleeves, damp, and says the only brand here belongs to pancakes. He tells the reporter he framed the first video to chase attention, and he is the story if there must be one. Missy straightens on her stool and announces that learning is messier than scandal. Tasha watches her phone light up with notifications and silences it like a small buzzing doubt. Maya keeps her voice level and says the diner serves breakfast and second chances, and that both require heat applied with care. The boom mic dips. The room chooses honesty over spectacle. Afternoon brings an inspection prompted by anonymous complaints. The man from the county wears the kind of neat that looks allergic to crumbs. He asks about donated leftovers and log sheets. Maya opens a binder thick with dates and temperatures, a diary of vigilance. Gloria explains their new policy that pairs each free meal with a voucher funded by the town envelope, so accounting is kindness translated into paperwork. Tasha produces labeled containers with a surgeon's seriousness, and the inspector's posture softens by a quarter inch. Owen steps in from the alley to report the ramp parts are delivered and asks whether he can borrow an outlet. The inspector watches the community move like gears that learn to be gentle and says he will return next month, not as a threat, but as a rhythm. Jonah exhales, realizing accountability can sound like music when it is shared. The binder closes with a satisfying thump, a heartbeat agreeing to keep time. Evening gathers the town inside the library's community room where folding chairs squeak like reluctant opinions. A few voices question whether the diner has become a stage for virtue. A retired banker claims charity distorts markets. Missy surprises herself by answering that love is not a subsidy. It is a language. Jonah stands with a printed transcript and reads the caption he attached to the full video. His voice steady where it used to vibrate. He says he edited a person into a symbol, and he will spend his next 1,000 hours filming repairs instead of wounds. Mr. Whitaker rises carefully and recites a new stanza about a town that learned to tune itself by listening. Maya does not center herself. She keeps passing water cups as if hosting a long table. When the meeting closes, the room adopts a plan: a rotating fund for groceries, a monthly repair night, a list of neighbors who will show up before anyone is asked. The night tests them. A pair of outsiders leaves mocking stickers on the diner window, snide slogans pasted like bruises. Jonah catches the scrape of adhesive and steps outside, chest tight with a hot impulse to shout. Maya appears beside him so quietly he nearly startles. She asks the visitors whether they need directions or a meal, and the question confuses their meanness. One mutters that jokes are harmless. Missy arrives with a bucket and starts to scrub, declaring that if they want a clean slate, she will start with glass. Tasha switches off the interior lights to cut the reflections while Owen brings a razor scraper that lifts residue with patient strokes. Diego kneels with courtyard chalk and sketches a ramp becoming a river. The outsiders blink at a scene where no one plays their part in the script they carried. They back away into the dark, leaving only glue smears dissolving beneath soapy spirals. Morning arrives dressed like an answer. In front of Mr. Whitaker's house, the new ramp waits with a fresh cedar smell, a clean line welcoming wheels and careful feet. Neighbors gather as if attending a small ceremony. Owen checks the angle with a carpenter's level and nods. Maya links her arm with the old poet and says the first step is not a step at all, but trust. Mr. Whitaker eases forward, then pauses when emotion outpaces balance. Diego steadies the rail with both hands, jaw set in solemn purpose. Missy films on Jonah's phone while he frames a wide shot that privileges sky and porch over faces. Gloria clears her throat and announces coffee and muffins like blessings. Mr. Whitaker rolls to the top landing and recites the line again about kindness writing where the world has torn, then adds that sometimes it teaches the street to spell its own name. Applause feels like wind in leaves. Saturday rises with a hum like a hive learning harmony. Outside the diner, folding tables bloom with clipboards, paint pens, and a banner that reads, "We keep each other." Gloria hands out index cards for pledges and says a town is only as real as its promises. Missy clears her throat and signs up for 3 late-night dish shifts, joking that humility looks good in rubber gloves. Owen stacks toolboxes and offers free repairs for anyone who brings stubborn hinges and stubborn hearts. Jonah announces the first episode of his new series, The Third Shift, where he films the hours kindness usually hides in. Maya resists the small podium someone drags out, then laughs and steps up anyway. She tells them kindness is a muscle, not a mood, and today they will exercise it until it remembers. Diego tugs her sleeve and whispers that he brought something he built. She nods, feeling the town lean forward like a single body taking the first brave step. By noon, the high school gym smells of citrus cleaner and cardboard. Tasha runs the floor like a conductor, calling out stations for sorting, sealing, and loading pantry kits. She pairs teens who don't speak to each other and tells them tape works better when 2 hands pull. Missy carries a stack twice her pride and pauses before the mic to admit she misunderstood what strength looks like. Applause lifts without pity. Mr. Whitaker sits by the bleachers recording voice memos for a poem about light placed into boxes. Jonah kneels to film Diego's invention, a clear-lidded donation box with gears that spin confetti when a bill drops, joy as audit trail. Maya moves through it all, a quiet center who refuses to command, asking each person's name until the room feels smaller and safer. The pallets shrink, the laughter grows, and the gym's echo trades emptiness for echoing yes. After dark, the clinic's corridors glow again, but they are not lonely. Volunteers in reflective vests wheel carts while Maya hands out gloves and a smile that admits fatigue without surrender. Jonah films sparingly, earning consent with sentences that sound like respect. He turns the lens on himself long enough to say the first video was a wound he made, and this series hopes to be a bandage others fill. Tasha wipes a waiting room toy bin and jokes that germs fear organized teenagers. Missy updates a bulletin board with resource numbers printed clean and large. Owen fixes a flickering ballast that used to make anxiety hum. Mr. Make Anxiety hum. Whitaker records ambient sounds and says poetry needs the music of mops. Before they leave, Maya finds the bracelet's owner waiting with a thank you card signed by a child who drew the braid's planet. She accepts and feels the orbit settling true. A thunderhead rolls in like a drumline and the power flickers out across Main Street. The diner's neon sighs into darkness. Gloria does not panic. She lights candles and declares a pop-up warming center. Owen backs in a small generator, cables coiling like tame snakes. Tasha organizes a phone charging station labeled Hope, 20% to 100%. Missy ladles soup by candlelight, steam writing cursive above bowls. Jonah captures only silhouettes, refusing faces without permission, learning that dignity looks best in chiaroscuro. Mr. Whitaker reads by window glow to a cluster of elders who pretend they came for the story and not the heat. Maya moves from table to table, counting pulses with questions that sound like care. Did you eat? Are your meds okay? Do you need a ride? When the lights finally surge back, no one cheers. They hold still, realizing the dark taught them a better brightness. When the town exhales, morning returns with the clarity of glass rinsed twice. The pledge cards become tasks completed, and the envelope becomes a ledger that smiles. Diego unveils his next version of the kindness capsule on the diner counter. Gears smoother, a tiny bell chiming not for donations, but for participation. Gloria says the sound tastes like cinnamon. Jonah posts his third shift episode with credits that list every volunteer first. Missy drafts a schedule for her humility shifts and pins it where anyone can add a name. Tasha designs flyers for repair nights and pantry builds like concert posters for compassion. Owen leans against the pass, teasing that the town runs on torque and tenderness. Maya signs the bottom of the new ledger and writes a note: kindness is not what we do after the day. It is the way the day happens. She looks up to find the whole room already living it. The town gathers on Main Street beneath pennants that look stitched from last month's storms. Horrors. Gloria taps a mic on a borrowed stand and declares the first we keep each other day, her voice steady in the way a hand is steady when catching a falling glass. Mr. Whitaker clears his throat and reads a new stanza about ordinary light bravely staying put. Missy shouts amen, as if the word has been waiting behind her teeth for years. Owen lifts a child onto his shoulders so she can see the small plywood stage where Diego reveals a hand-painted sign: kindness recorded here, now and always. Jonah steps up with a shy wave and says this series belongs to everyone. He invites entries filmed by neighbors, promises to manage submissions but not the story. Maya stands off to the side, smiling at the crowd without needing its gaze. The applause doesn't crown anyone. It wraps the street like a shared scarf. After the speeches, the diner exhales people and inhales quiet. Sun squares lie on the floor like patient invitations. Maya counts the register and finds the new ledger already balancing hope against cost. Gloria sets 2 mugs on the counter and admits she sleeps better knowing the town now turns its own gears. She offers Maya a salaried day manager role with rotating evenings off, adding that a community fund will cover any short weeks. Maya laughs softly, Surprised to feel her shoulders lower, she confesses that 2 jobs kept her moving but clipped her hearing. She wants to listen to Diego's stories before they grow angles he won't share. Jonah appears in the doorway, asking whether they'll still let him bus tables when he's in town. Missy drops off fresh dishcloths, on loan from humility. Tasha pins the next repair night flyer and grins. The bell rings once, politely, as if even the door understands balance. A week later, the school gym trembles with applause that smells like sawdust and citrus cleaner. Diego stands by his science fair table, cheeks glowing, while judges bend to read a placard that calls his invention the kindness capsule MK2. When a coin slips in, gears turn and a small bell chimes. But the real magic is the inkless stamp it leaves on a pledge card. I will show up. Tasha Fist bumps him, proud co-conspirator in neat labels and safe wiring. Owen admires the tolerances as if the machine were a song set to torque. Missy guards the table like a bouncer of joy. Jonah lifts his camera, then lowers it and simply claps. Maya watches Diego explain cause and effect with hands that mirror her own. When she balances plates, she realizes kindness taught them both engineering, how to transfer energy without stripping threads, how to make momentum gentle and unstoppable at once. Twilight leans cobalt along the riverwalk, where the town keeps its old promises. Maya and Jonah sit on a bench, the water holding the last light like a careful secret. He says he's leaving for a month to collect third shift stories from other towns and asks what to do with the tiny camera that started all of this. Maya smiles and tells him tools. Remember intentions. Maybe it needs a new one. Diego sprints up with a backpack and breaks in a laugh, accepting the camera as if it were a small comet still warm from falling. Jonah thanks Maya for letting him learn without demanding interest. She answers that growth pays itself. Across the path, Mr. Whitaker practices a line under his breath, testing it against the river's hush. Fireflies rise in drafts like punctuation marks. Nobody rushes to read. The night makes a promise back, keep going, but gentler now. Morning returns to the diner with a steadier heartbeat. The neon hums, the bell behaves, and routine shines like a floor freshly mopped. A courier drops a small plaque, funded by the envelope in honor of unseen hands. Gloria mounts it near the register, crooked by a breath, and then true. Missy flips the pie case with a magician's flourish. Tasha tapes a new calendar of projects. Owen checks the hinge one more time out of love. Mr. Whitaker arrives, ramp smooth, and reads a last stanza that lands like a key. We learned to measure wealth by who arrives when called. Jonah's video premieres from a bus 2 towns over, credits rolling as neighbors wave at their own reflections in the glass. Diego's camera blinks red from the pastry case, capturing nothing scandalous, a free refill, a note tucked under a saucer, a scarf hung on a chair with no owner yet. Maya breathes and lets the day happen the way it was always meant to. Out loud, together.